Alright, we're in the starting soon. I'm gonna open up things so I can maybe hear myself and see if audio sounds decent. I say before the stream decides to not load on my Twitch. For an unknown reason. Okay, I can hear the stream. Stream is heard. Oh no, wait, I can hear myself in the stream. Why can't I hear myself in the stream? Why can I be heard on the stream? Hey. Hey. Hello everyone, and we are back, and now I have unmuted myself because for some reason I was talking on the starting soon screen. Hello. Why am I so echoey? Why do I hear myself as so echoey? Hello? But we are back. We are going to have a short stream today because one of us has to dip off for, real world reasons. And yes, Sunny K. Yes, it is.
We're trying to be so...
So we are going to fairly quickly here jump right in. Can I get the speediest who are you and who are you playing from all of my players?
Okay, I'll start again. I'm Rose. I play Cam, a changeling druid who is perpetually confused about life but happily along for the ride. I think I'm being carried like a sack of potatoes.
Yes, I am Fig. I'm May. I play Fig, a half-orc cleric who jumped in a vortex of darkness.
So again, I'm playing a bird mostly. Also an artificer, and I love jumping into strange, unnatural phenomena. That's my favorite.
My name is Sunny K, and I play Yuka, the Witch of the Woods. She is a half-elf druid, and she is currently getting yoinked to, I don't really know where, but a tentacle wrapped around her ankle and pulled her off into darkness.
It sure did. So, with all of that, we are going to start our session for the day. Now, where we left off, I'm just gonna... Oh, never mind, I'm not gonna yoink my microphone closer to my face because my setup will fall apart. Hello! Where we left off, all of our lovely, lovely adventurers had been speaking to the being cloaked in light. And at the very last moment, I believe Fig and Cam saw that the being cloaked in light was actually a tragedium holding a lantern. And another one puppeting something in front of it. Yuka and Throgyn, on the other hand, have been pulled into a vortex of these black cables. And the first thing that you two notice is you are falling. These things are slipping past you. It's not sticky, it's not wet, it's nothing like that. It's honestly more like snakeskin than anything, if there was no texture of scale. And then, all of a sudden, the two of you stop falling. You hit something that is hard. It slows you down just enough that you don't take any fall damage from it. However, it still knocks the air out of you. You may both stand up. You may both look around. However, you see nothing. You see pitch blackness. Cam and Fig, as you two were very closely following, after jumping into this same pit that your friends fell into, you will likewise fall, have the wind knocked out of you, but be otherwise uninjured, and then be in this dark space. Now, my dearest players, what do you see?
Is there light? Otherwise, I can touch light to an object, which would most likely just be my sensor.
Mm-hmm. All of you are going to watch as Fig's sensor lights up in this very cold, bright light. It looks almost like a fluorescent bulb as it flickers on. What do you guys see in this room you're in?
I'm sorry, this feels like a trap. Just letting you know.
It's not a trap. It's not a trap.
I think Yuka is thinking of when she used to hibernate with pack animals. So this reminds her a little bit of a cave after you've gone inside deep enough.
You all watch and feel as the ground underneath you becomes a little bit more uneven. Begins to slope in one direction, this gray rock taking shape underneath you. The ambient sound changes. No longer are you in this like square room. Now you feel that there's a bit more curve to the wall. Things echo a little bit differently. You think you maybe hear dripping water somewhere.
Like for Fig, when he thinks of enclosed space, he's probably gonna go to the fully locked down and coveted tombs that the library holds in the city that I believe starts with an H.
Hakshar?
Passing my mind right now. Akshar. Yeah. But it's because it's no light. You can't have natural light. It's gonna fade the pages. You're not gonna have airflow. We're not gonna disturb this. So it's that sort of sterile room to hold these precious books of I don't know, however old they are.
You all watch as the light of this sensor grows just a tiny bit brighter, and it travels just a tad bit further until you see a built-up brick wall. You stop hearing water dripping, and all of the air in this room. Yuka, you would probably, you and Cam would notice this the most as druids. All of the air in this room becomes completely still. There is no longer any sort of cross breeze or ventilation or anything like that. Fig, Throgyn, you two turn around and you see a small wooden table that you hadn't witnessed before. Sat there, 2 chairs.
Clarifying, does it come out of the darkness, or does it change in front of our eyes?
It's just sort of you turn around and it's there now.
Okay.
How dark was it?
When you got here, pitch black. Dark vision doesn't work pitch black.
Okay, but now we see a thing.
Fig has light.
Did no one...
Oh!
It's
Oh, yeah.
a 20-foot radius.
Yeah.
So, did no one bump into that? Did we? I suppose we didn't really walk here. I walk over to the table.
Yeah. You walk over to the table. You see that there's 2 chairs next to it. They don't look comfortable necessarily, but they do look very well worn. You see that on the table there is a stack of parchment and something that looks like a pen on top of it. However, you don't see any sort of ink pot or anything like that. You additionally see that built into this table there is a drawer on the side that you've approached it from, with just a very cleanly carved handle.
Yep. So, and speaking of the spells earlier that I wanted to do, so I have a spell, divination spell called Legend Lore that it does take 10 minutes, so we'll see if now would be a good time. But I'm like, hey, look, there's paper and a pen now. I can write down my thoughts. So it's sort of like, if you guys want to scope out the area, I need to figure out that there's a light beam, but not a light beam. That's a fake one. Oh yeah, for the two that fell through first. Yeah, the thing that we were talking to, we think it was also a tragedian.
Might be.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that would make sense, given what we know. It would make sense that if there is something greater out there, and there is something greater out there for all of us, pulling our individual strings, that's someone pulling the strings of the rest of the world, controlling the two-dimensional nature of our friends, who are not us, would have a certain amount of liberty over how they can even present deities.
And, like, she's not gonna think much harder on that level, because that means having to confront the same similar truth about her parents. And the light deity, she's like, I don't want to think about lanterns.
I have a question to Fig. Am I still being carried like a sack of potatoes, or did you put me down?
No, it's as we fell. You sort of like probably fell and then bounced off of me, and now you're good.
Great.
It's kind of just not like clotheslined, right?
Yeah.
Mid-transformation
Okay,
into
well-
some speedy creature.
Well, in that case, I don't care about all this, like, thinking conversation. I want to turn into a rat and see if I can sniff this source.
What source?
Because we were going to the source, or something along those lines, in a place.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I want to smell everything.
Well, you transform into a rat. You feel as your body shrinks, fur begins to grow out. You know, you become quadrupedal, and you feel as your hearing gets sharper, your nose gets more sensitive, and you smell Fig. You smell Throgyn. You smell Yuka. You smell like the dryness of paper. You smell a small like hint of magic coming from the table. Even as a rat, you're not sensing any sort of water. You notice that the air in this room is completely still. There's no cross breeze or anything. You sniff out something that smells like putrefaction. It's dank, it's sharp. There's a little bit of something that sort of broils underneath the surface and makes it very, very just, you want to scrunch up your nose and not smell it anymore. Even as a rat, this smells like death. And you notice that it's coming from the table.
So
Big is now just sat down at said table and
Yeah.
is writing down like his thoughts.
Open the
So
door.
Fig, as you pick up the pen that is on that stack of parchment.
I mean, I'm testing the pen to see if it's like a true pen, and then I might take out my own too, if it's.
So you notice that
doesn't
the
seem
pen
to- I'm like,
feels...
is there like is it like a pen? Is it like
It's like
a quill?
it's like a quill. It's a metal nib. It's a metal nibbed quill. So it's just like a pen. A fountain pen.
Is there an inkwell too?
There is no inkwell. You notice that there is no inkwell. There is no, like, indention on the table for an inkwell. However, if you put this pen to the parchment that it came with, you will notice that it begins writing as if it is fully inked.
Yeah, I don't trust that. Set it down and
This
I
is
pull out my own.
DM, could you please cover your ears? And because I have a bit that is for everyone else, not you. This is a generative AI room. Okay.
What have I missed?
Thank you. Don't worry about it.
If I had a nickel for every time my sister specifically kicked me out of the D&D sessions that I'm running, I'd have 3 nickels! 4 nickels!
Your sister knows that everything we say is something that could be canon, and fuck us!
I don't even want to know how this would fuck us. This would be awful. This would be awful.
Feather, can I offer you immunity from shenaniganery if you tell me what was said?
I can tell you after
Bribery.
session.
Bribery! That is low!
No, we can tell you when the session is not happening and
Okay.
there's nothing going on. But
Okay.
you know, there's nothing going on right now.
Alright.
Did you look into the drawers?
As far as I know, nobody has looked into the drawer yet.
Can I?
I'm just writing my thoughts about my
Throgan.
everything that's happened with the tragedy.
I'm
As-
trying to climb the table.
Throgan, as you open up the drawer, Cam, that smell gets worse. Like, you realize as Throgan opens up the drawer that previously it had been hidden and it hadn't been allowed to waft out. I am going to need a
Yuka?
Constitution saving throw from you.
Great.
Do we not notice at all? All 3 of us?
Give me a second.
4. I'm probably actively gagging.
Yeah, you notice that the rat is gagging. Throgan,
Poor thing.
as you open up this drawer, you, Yuka, and Fig all begin to smell this same putrefaction.
I mean,
It's
can I
like,
pick up
have you
the
ever opened up a
drawer?
trash can that's been just in the sun for a little bit too long? It's that. And it smells
Sorry, I
like
work with
pus.
compost.
I'm aware.
Not great. Not great.
What's in there?
Throgan, you see that this drawer is filled with that same pitch darkness that you fell into at first. What is in there?
I try to look through that darkness and I see something that is shiny.
You see some
But it's
light.
not-
Say again.
Continue. I
No.
was thinking a dark kind of shiny, but you can tell me something else.
Well, as you look through that darkness, you see a glint of light off of something. What is that something?
There's a gem in there.
You find a gem. It's dark. It's so opaque that you cannot see through it. And looking at it, you can tell that it's smooth. There seem to be little fleckles. Fleckles? That's a new word. There seem to be little flecks of still, like, dark, but just a little bit lighter than the rest of it. Spread across almost like it's ash in this stone.
Can I do
I
an
will say
arcana
one-
check?
And once this like smell is like come out from the drawer, they're just gonna like screech the chair away from it. Just yep, that, and just be like, not right now. I'll come to that later.
I got a 23 for an arcana check.
With a 23 Throgan. By the way, Cam, you have stopped gagging. Congratulations, you are no longer stunned.
Yay! I'm gonna keep climbing to see what's inside the door.
You climb up to the top of the table, you see the same thing that Throgan sees. Throgan, with a 23 on Arcana, looking at this, you notice that you have seen something very similar before. I believe it's either you or Cam, I don't remember who has it, but one of you has it. You have a gemstone that you gathered when you cured the Lady Verdant.
I don't carry anything since everything made me be like affected.
I think Throgyn has that.
This gemstone has a very, very similar arcane signature to that stone, with one very distinct difference. The previous stone gave you the same feeling as the being wreathed in light, or the being cloaked in light. This stone gives you that same sort of like hair standing on the back of your neck, the feeling that you need to not breathe deeply, that the wires have given you up until now. The big cables.
I just saw that the other gem is in my inventory as gem of relevancy.
That makes sense. That seems like a name I'd give that item.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Okay. Shit, what do I do with this gem? Gem breaker.
Sorry, I did like the idea that Rose, I think, just had.
I do like that idea. And those
What
are
idea?
tools. Those are tools that we are going to be. Those are tools that we are going to need in order to break all the stuff that's going on, right? Like that's one of the things that Light said that the party would need.
Light said that you have all of the tools you need to accomplish many ways to break the curse.
Yes.
The thing that you were missing, according to Light, was a concrete plan in how you were going to put them together. I do believe I don't remember the exact phrase because this was a couple of weeks ago, but I think what Light ended up saying, or the gist of it was, as long as you all put your minds to it, you will be able to come up with a successful solution.
So something we can do. Potentially. If we break the source and then use the tools at our disposal to transform them into a wide-reaching, almost inoculative, like immunization against the plague, against the affliction, that could work. So we need to break the source, or we need to like use Breaker to destroy the origin for good, and we need to use the tools that we have. It sounds like, based on what I'm thinking, to transform the other materials that we have into like a vaccine, effectively, or like an immunization against the affliction, so that we can eliminate what's left. Because the source will only prevent new cases, but prevalent cases, so cases that already exist, we'll need to do something about. Does that track? What do we think about this? We're metagaming here.
I think that sounds really good.
I mean, I would also, we're talking magic here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Like,
if you...
Don't get me wrong, we're gonna have to do skill challenges up the fucking wazoo for both of these steps.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if we say
I'm
it
also
works,
saying, if we say that destroying the source just gets rid of all of it, then, I mean, that...
Oh, here's an idea. Here's an idea. We use so when we break the source, we have all of the tools set up basically in a circle, so that the force of the blast, or the force of the the destructive, or the creative, or whatever, the blast of the energy that comes as a result of breaking the source expands outward and uses the tools we have to serve as an immunization across the continent, all of Gurunk that is affected, everywhere.
like a spell circle, and we powder up the crystals and we imbue
We
them the
snort them.
property to immunize. Yeah, exactly. Smash the source in the middle,
Yes.
and we
That would
send
look
everything
very cool.
scattering outward. It could be fun. Ritual circle.
Ritual
I
circle.
cannot read. I cannot read these.
You cannot what?
I cannot read Elise.
No, I can't.
We can't
wanna
read. We can't
wanna
read your
read them.
expressions. We're having trouble. We're having trouble utilizing. See, it's
This man plays too much poker for that. Sorry.
Who would win? 4 people with some neurodivergent condition among the individuals of them, or one guy who plays poker good?
I don't even play poker good. No, do not give me that power.
Or one guy who plays poker bad.
There we go.
One guy who plays a lot of poker in Fallout New Vegas, just like his
I've
sister.
spent years honing my autism.
There it is.
Can't-
Let's go.
Poker doesn't exist in Fallout New Vegas, and we all know it.
Blackjack exists. That's
Blackjack
fine.
exists.
Alright.
Caravan exists.
Hold'em.
Play Caravan.
Yeah.
Play Fallout New Vegas.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. It's just very good.
Fallout New Vegas.
It'll trans your gender.
Yes. Sorry. We're off topic. Hello,
Okay.
ritual circles.
Okay. Okay. What do we think? I'm also liking this because it would imbue a lot of our characters' collective talents. It would take a good amount of arcana. It would take a really good amount of religious magic. It would take the ability to break down stuff into fine powder. It would take the ability to mold crystals of an earthen variety. Stone, one could say.
Minerals?
Minerals.
Minerals. Do you crave that mineral?
I like it. I think it sounds like this will work.
I had a completely different thought, and it just reminded me that I've been playing too much Minecraft.
Tell me. Tell us.
Yeah, do you have a plan?
No, my Minecrafting, I did a lot of potion brewing, and I was like, oh, but you can use a fermented spider eye to change the effect of something, to inverse the effect.
Oh, but spiders don't exist in Garunk.
Yeah, exactly.
This is true.
Maybe we can get a fermented scorpion eye instead.
I'm okay with this. I can make scorpions exist.
It's just, I need to stop playing Minecraft. It's a problem.
Hey guys, look at this cool thing I've got in my pocket. I think it can sting me. I
Throgyn.
think it hurts.
Throgyn, as you say this, you watch as Throgyn just sort of pulls up this creature that's dangling by like a very long tail. And it's got 6 legs and 2 pincers. It's like a crab, but it's not a crab, Yuka.
Yuka looks on, horrified and impressed. She wants one. She wants one very
I
badly.
told him, but like I think it hurts.
Throgyn somehow has this
Won't tell
thing
you, but I
held.
think it hurts.
She takes it by like a segment just below where he's holding on the tail, so that
Yeah.
it still can't so the stinger still can't get her.
It's just like writhing around frantically in your hand.
She holds the pincers gently with her fingers, and just like makes the most intense eye contact you've ever seen her make.
Give me an intimidation roll.
Okay.
Throgyn, did you have that when we came in here?
Yeah, sometimes I find cool bugs.
You see that it has like 10 eyes blinking back at you, not in sync. It just sort of stops wriggling and writhing so much.
Can I try to pet it?
She lets one of the pincers get her pinky.
Oh, he doesn't try and get your pinky, he just like snaps at you, like how cats go, "Ang."
Adorable. What should we call him? Maybe we shouldn't call him. Maybe this is a bad idea.
She looks at it and she's like, I could eat this, and she's like, best not name it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yuka, why do your friends have names? Sorry. Steve cannot be eaten, confirmed.
Steve cannot be eaten because, well, Steve cannot be eaten for food itself. He can be eaten for ritual purpose, which is what she intends to do when she kills him.
Right, of course.
We're getting so off topic. All right, she hands the scorpion back to Throgyn.
I hold him by his tail while he sits on my hand, and then I pat him over his little head.
As soon as you put your hand up, he just like stops wriggling completely and just sort of sits there. Like, if anything, he scoots back a little bit so that there's no, like, pressure on his tail.
Okay.
Can we rename this episode "The Gang Puts the Fear of God in a Scorpion for 5 straight minutes"?
The scorpion has seen things, my guy.
If you want, you can... Wait, can I trust the scorpion?
I don't know, can you trust the scorpion? What are you rolling?
Everyone knows this folktale of the scorpion and the frog.
Yeah?
The frog, though, you're a bird.
Okay, insight won't help me.
Yuka considers the amount of spells she has, and really does consider putting protection from poison. And then she thinks, nah, I'll save the spell slot. This will be funny.
I put it back in my pocket where he comes from, where he was not able to get my bag.
You watch as Throgyn's, like, pocket is writhing and wriggling around.
I don't know what scorpions eat. I give him a little leaf of lettuce.
I think they eat lettuce, but sure.
Yuka takes out some jerky bits and
I put jerky in my pocket without a wrap. Like, I will need to do laundry. We get there when we get there.
Okay.
There's just like a tiny little grease stain on the pocket
hey,
now.
DM?
Yeah.
It's been 21 minutes since I cast Legend Lore.
Yeah, do you want to use Legend Lore, actually?
I did. I was just waiting for the time to pass.
That's fair.
It's supposed to take 10 minutes.
Yeah. I appreciate you, May.
Spells to work in real time.
And I appreciate this. I love this from May. Have you paid the 250 gold for the incense? Just...
Hey, out of curiosity, what's your fucking problem?
Sorry, I just need you to know, you need incense worth 250 gold, and 4 ivory strips worth 50 gold each.
Yeah.
What's the incense made of?
What are in my pockets? Let me look.
I will let you have this, if you wish, because this is the first time I'm asking for material components.
Okay, I probably shouldn't do my library book.
I think you were supposed to return the library book.
You've had that book for 10 years!
I think it's overdue. I don't think you're allowed to graduate if you don't hand in your library books.
The DM desire to have an owl show up right now versus the DM desire to have us actually finish the campaign in the month of July.
Oh my god. Alright. I've got a question for the DM. If Yuka just happens to have preserved incenses that she does not realize are worth as much money as they are worth just on her person and gives them to Fig, can this part be good? Can I roll a luck check?
I mean,
to see if she is like...
yeah, give me a luck check. Flat D20. Flat D20.
Alright, let's go.
I also have...
20?
I believe that you can.
For God's sake.
block
I
of
forgot.
incense, which is I actually have 2 pounds of incense technically.
Never mind.
Forgotten.
Fig's got incense.
Never mind, we're good.
Fig's fully got incense. Let's go.
I also have 88 gold, if that helps.
Sure.
I have 14.
We get
It's
the
impressive how I didn't get
$250
paid a
difference.
single time.
You needed to ask Vassal for more money. Ah, too bad he's dead.
He never paid us! Or I don't have it. That's also possible.
Vassal didn't have any fucking money, and you know it.
Yeah.
He spends too much trying to look rich.
So, Fig.
That quirked up white boy was broke as hell.
So, Fig, what are you asking about for Legend lore?
It's the, I was gonna do the light beam, but I decided to wait until more information, because it turned out that they weren't a light beam, it was Treasure holding the lantern behind it. So, basically, I'm
Lame trick.
focusing on the Treasure DM, and then, like, that's what I've been writing down for the past 10 minutes, just,
Oh.
like, every encounter that we've had with them.
Okay.
Um,
Fig.
and then, like, being that, like, they told us this advice. Is it true that they want us to, like, succeed with their advice?
Fig. At some point as you're writing, give me 1 second to just check how this works. Alright, I'm gonna go a little bit off book here. Fig. As you're writing, at some point you feel your vision start to fade out. And then you feel your pen, instead of scribbling across in common like you're used to, or even orcish like you're used to, you feel it lift up and begin to sort of tap into your paper instead. And it seems to tap in these sets of 2 by 3. Still left to right, still up to down as you expect. And this goes on for a good few minutes, almost 11 minutes, let's say. And then all of a sudden, you feel your vision slowly begin to return to you again. To anyone looking at Fig, you're going to notice that that eye has appeared on his forehead again, along with that corona behind it. Fig, as you open your eyes, you realize that there's a new script on your paper. You are aware of this script. It's not one that you can fluently read, however it is one that you've seen before.
I didn't hear any of that.
What do you mean you didn't hear any of that?
Did you?
Hello?
Gone? Am I gone?
I think I'm
Yeah,
here?
still hear us?
I think they have
Technical
that.
difficulties.
I can send us to the splash
never.
screen! We're in the splash screen, mostly so I can check the audio. They're talking about scorpions, chat. I said that this guy has 10 eyes, yeah. Alright, we're going out of the technical difficulty screen. Don't swear live on air.
Who's without borders?
Welcome back. Hello, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the Fire and Tin Cans music. You can get that on Bandcamp at Sunny K. I think that's your handle. Anyways, we're back. Fig. So.
Yep.
It's a script that you are not fluent in. Looking at it, it's you know that it's written left to right, top to bottom, just like Common is. However, you see that it's made up of grids of 2 dots by 3 dots.
Braille.
It isn't Braille. It isn't Braille. Did you all forget that Tom Tom is blind?
It's Braille. Yes.
Do you want me to
It's been dropped, I think, one time that Tom Tom is blind.
Ah! I thought it was dropped more.
No,
Nope.
yeah, I mean, it's been implied.
Yeah. Here are the things I know about Tom Tom. Dwarf, yellow, smart.
Apparently
And then it's that Sonic meme of blind. I didn't know that.
You're not wrong. Anyways, Fig, as you're looking at this, despite this being a script that you are unfamiliar with, you are able to glean meaning from it. You still can't read the characters, but almost magically you are able to understand what it means. You see that it is in the form of like a dictionary entry or a field guide, and it says tragedian. You notice that the end of this word has 2 capital letters. The tragedian is a creature that is a collective. They all work together towards a single goal, similar to the way bees or ants function in a hive. It is unknown whether there is a queen in this allegory, or whether it is more of a mycelium network. All equal, all working towards the same purpose. The tragedium are usually not visible. There have been precious few records taken. The first is by a gnome by the name of Greshnark. Greshnark has mentioned seeing them only twice previously. Once was at the site of now currently named Lake Greshnark, a large body of water inland that, as far as most know, appeared overnight. Greshnark mentioned having seen these creatures setting up some sort of magical interference. They were lugging around these large things that looked like cannons. However, when one of them was accidentally set off, it emitted frost instead of fire. The second sighting by Greshnark was much, much later. Some say this only happened in rumor, that it is not a true sighting as Greshnark himself never wrote it down. A soldier that was present at the creation of the dragon barrier told a story to his grandson, and his son, and his son after that one of the last things Greshnark said before meeting his untimely end was that they had come for him. The shadows with white masks. They had finally come for his final bow. There are no mentions on tragedians until much later. Much, much later. There seems to have been... Oh, let's see, who do I want to give this to? This is a DM talking to the DM question. There seems to have been a man. An elf. Black hair, pale skin, sallow all of the time, as if he had one foot in the grave. Pompous prick, all things considered. His writings in his later years In fact, the last year before his untimely demise. He mentioned seeing shadows in the corner of his eye, one of them explaining to him what he was about to do, or rather, what was about to be done to him. They explained to him what would happen, who would cause it. And, well, nobody can read that page in his journal. It's the ravings and scribblings of a madman, somebody who had been around just too much ammonia to think straight at the time. People slandered his name. Little did they know that page had more information than maybe they had guessed. No one knows what choice the man made after speaking to this figure. However, he certainly made one. And in the same way the tragedian described, his end came at the hands of a witch in green and blood. It is believed that the tragedians do tell the truth. Whether this is because they cannot lie or they simply do not see a point in lying is unknown. However, while they engage in trickery and deceit, it is only ever visual. Their words appear to be truthful. I personally have a theory. A theory that the tragedians may have previously been those who walked among us, and for one reason or another lost that identity. Lost their identity. This is unconfirmed and pure speculation on my part. End entry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When you turn from third person to first person.
Did you not like that? Do you not like that?
No, I didn't. I did not like that. But it's like, thanks, I suppose. I don't like directly talking to you, but thanks.
Suddenly
You
this
watch
becomes
as-
a polyvocal text.
You watch as the last third of the braille written on your paper smooths out and vanishes, leaving only the end entry.
Yeah.
And it only leaves behind a little smiley face just for you with the eyes. Fig, do you share this with the class?
To everyone else, what you see on this paper is you see that Fig has continued writing in common. It's all the same text. It is in common and it is in Fig's handwriting. And then you watch as like a third of it just vanishes for some reason. You don't know what's up with that.
Okay, so we just read it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose I skimmed most of Vitali's notes, but I suppose I could have read them further. Ugh, whatever.
I'm hoping they're going well.
Yeah.
Well. Is that putrid smell still coming from
Yes. It is
the
still coming
gemstone?
from that stone, yep.
Can I do some, like, investigative magic work on that?
Yeah, what you
Roll
want to
some
do?
Arcana on that.
I mean, you gotta beat a 23.
Oh. What do I need? I need an 18 or higher.
Unless you want to, like, give me a more specific question than just general arcana.
Sure. I want to see very specifically if how this is connected to the source.
Okay.
I want to know what this thing's deal is in connection to the source that we are looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, roll Arcana.
18?
Yeah.
18? No, nothing.
With a 10, with that question. No, so, okay, so, I'm gonna tell you this, tell this to you guys explicitly. If you say, like, can I roll X check, I'm going to assume you just want a general check on an object. So with a 23, Throgyn got a lot of, like, general information on this object. If you have a more specific question based on something that has come up in an earlier check, that's basically resetting the DC, or, like, establishing a new DC, but you're only gonna get information relevant to what you've asked for. So, because you've asked for, hey, I want to know specifically how this is connected to the source, like, you might get further information, or you might get different information than Throgyn got earlier, because you're looking at a more specific thing. It's basically the equivalent of you're going to Google and going, hey Google, what's a dog? Versus, hey Google, what's a German Shepherd? With a 10. With a 10. Yuka, as you look at this gemstone, you feel very, very confident that this is the source of the smell that you have all been smelling. You, from your experience as somebody who's worked with illness before, feel very hesitant about touching this thing directly. The only other information you're going to get on a 10 is that whether or not this thing is connected directly to the source, it does share a lot of similarities, as Throgyn has previously seen, with that gemstone of relevancy.
But they don't smell the same.
No, not at all.
Okay, interesting. Can Yuka
It's
touch
weird.
the...
It's weird,
Yeah.
Yuka. You'd describe them in some animalistic part of your brain as smelling like opposites.
Also do a check for something.
I think her brain goes to lodestones, where you need both of them in order to make work that involve, like, magical work that involves polarity. Like, if these were to be arranged in a ritual circle, like, the idea that comes to mind is them being polar opposites to each other in that ritual circle. You know, like fire goes here, water goes here, earth goes here, air goes here.
I see what you mean.
In a Babe's mind goes to a purifying one with the other, like battle Ozai versus Aang fight. just like I don't know, if you can make one turn into the other to eradicate what's on one.
Feather, you had a question.
Yeah. As an artificer, I've worked a lot with gemstones that have powers.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how manipulating only the black gem or both of them together would, if that would be dangerous, and how it could be done. So, would grinding them up do something? Would smashing them together do something?
I want you to roll me. Do you have proficiency with Arcana?
Yeah.
Yes, I want you to roll me Arcana.
14.
Alright, Throgyn with a 14. You would know that grinding it up, in this case, with an opaque gemstone like this, grinding it up would intensify the effect. You're basically giving more surface area to this thing, which means it's going to be able to cause its effect on more of the world at the same time. You know that this is not the case for clear gemstones. Clear gemstones seem to be more powerful when they are whole or as close to whole as you can get, with it still being, functional for your purpose. You would recognize that whatever this thing is very, very intensely connected with the wires. It's very intensely connected with the contagion that's been going around. You don't know if it's like capital T, capital S, the source specifically. That might be something you need to just sort of make a choice about, or like take an impulsive action about. However, this stone is very intensely connected with the infection and with the contagion. If you were to combine this in some way with the gemstone of relevancy, you know that they are polar opposites. You're seeing that just like Yuka is seeing that right now. You notice that not only are they polar opposites in like magic type, whether it's crushed versus whole, you also notice that while this gemstone looks black, it's very clear that what you're looking at is absorbing the light around it, rather than impurities in, like, a colorless stone doing the same thing. Like, this is very clearly an arcane color rather than a natural one. You see, as you're looking, that the little speckles on this thing, while they're speckles and while they're a bit random, and yes, they look like ashes fallen onto something that's just standing there, you also notice that it's making the pattern almost of someone that's, like, put it down into the box. Like, it's where fingertips would have contacted it, or where, like, the palm of a hand would have gripped it. And looking at it, you do tell that this is, like, the palm of a hand that looks feminine, or dare you say, tragedian-like.
Yeah. And the place where Yuka touched it doesn't have these flecks.
Did Yuka touch it?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think she got very close and she's just like, she didn't touch it. I don't think.
I also don't know if I want to touch it.
I want to touch it.
I also want to touch it.
Let them touch.
Out of my way, gay boy, I'm about to get it.
So I'd like to do protection from poison on myself.
Yeah?
As that, where to start. And then I'd just like to do the cantrip light on it. Because if it's a hostile thing, it has to do a save to avoid the spell.
This is true, this is fair. Okay. I'm gonna do...
I'm just imagining Cam as like a rat on the edge of the table looking into the drawer while Pig's coming out to touch it.
I'm gonna do a silly little thing. Which I'm gonna hope hides this from you guys. Fig, what type of saving throw is this?
This is a dexterity saving throw.
It's a dexterity saving throw? Well...
Yeah.
I only saw it because I cast it in the beginning in this pitch black room. It's all DM.
So it is a rock. I cannot stress enough that it is a rock.
Yeah.
So I'm actually not
However,
going to do
I
my
am
super
gonna
secret thing. Okay, yeah. So, Fig, you reach out to touch this thing. And as you touch it, you cast light. Now, two things are going to happen. I need 2 saving throws to be made. I have made one of them in my brain because it's rock. I'm going to need you to make me a Constitution saving throw. Because you cast protection from poison and disease, you do not have disadvantage. Alright. So,
21.
Fig, as soon as you touch it, in that moment before your spell activates, you feel as if you're being, like your hand, the skin on your hand is being pulled into the stone. And then you cast light. The stone starts glowing. The stone absolutely starts glowing. However, as you pull your hand away, you notice that where you had made contact with that stone, there are additional flecks that are lighter in color, just like the other parts that are lighter in color. You also get the very distinct feeling, Fig, that this stone did not want you casting light on it.
We got
him.
it's a there's a sense. I don't know if it's just a magical sense or a conscious, sentient sense, but we got something.
Someone, like, somewhere behind you, I think Cam sees this. Cam is the first and only person to ever see this. There's just, like, a little glowing sign on the table with, like, flashing incandescent bulbs that just says something and points at the stone.
Cam's turn.
Also, I should let you know that because I cast it on the stone, my sensor goes out.
Yes. All the light is from the stone now.
Yep.
Oh, actually, that's a very important thing, Fig. Because it's glowing, you actually watch as the entire thing becomes this lighter color. Because it's making the light itself now, yeah.
So, if something changed about the stone, we wouldn't be able to see it. Because it's a lamp. We're looking into the lamp.
Yeah, how are you looking at this, actually? That's a good point.
With my eyes.
My third eye, obviously.
With my eyes burnt.
Can I cast prestidigitation to have more light?
Yes, of course you can. Fing! So, Cam, what you doing? Do you want to touch it?
Cam wants to touch it. But also now it's glowing and that's annoying. So Cam will come back into human form, or changeling form, whatever form I right now, like,
Yeah.
Cam's body decides to be. How do I unchange myself?
You already did, I think.
I unwrap myself, yes, there we go.
Unwrap yourself.
So I'm just on the table, like, laying on the table on my stomach, looking into the drawer, like, okay, now what? You said it didn't want to be touched, right?
Yeah, there's some, like, I don't know if we could form, like, a connection to it, like, I mean, I could try to read its thoughts, but, it's a rock, so I don't know how many thoughts it would have, but it did have, like, individual, I think, either magical, spiritual, you know, like, identity to it.
Sure. I have a pouch that's empty. I've had it the entire time. Can I just, like, use it as, like, a scoop?
Yeah. The light goes out, other than Throgyn's little prestidigitation lights.
And then, like, invert the pouch and know it's in the pouch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was anticlimactic.
Oh, I actually have a question, Cam. Does your earth sense allow you to, like, manipulate this at all? Is it, like, manipulatable? Or is it, like, a different type of
In what
object
way? I don't know how to imagine. I've, like...
Yeah. But, like, have you ever, like, formed, like, crystals? Because crystals are just a different form of rock.
No. It's a pain in the ass, because you need to make sure all the stuff's aligned, otherwise it looks like a mess. But you can, like, clean up gemstones if you have too many hours and an urgent need for money.
Yeah, so I'm just, like, if you can know what, like, the structure of this one is, just, like...
But I gotta touch it. You just said not to touch it.
Right. Yeah. I can help protect you, if that would help.
So then I get to touch it?
I mean, sure. You just have to make sure, like, I don't want to say, like, con save, but you have to have your strength of will and your immunity up to make sure to fight
I'm
off.
sure I'll be fine.
You need
I haven't died
determination.
yet.
Anyway, so like solemn touch on the shoulder.
Yep, you feel a little bit heartier.
Poison.
Uh-huh.
You feel like you could drink a nice dwarven stout.
Those are good.
And then you do have greater or lesser restoration or greater restoration.
I'll be fine. I just empty the pouch on the table and I like see if I can touch it, and then all the ashiness that I saw earlier, I want to try and pull it towards my finger.
So
If it'll,
you touch it,
but well,
and you're going to
Yeah.
feel the same thing that Fig felt, where you feel as if like the skin on your finger is starting to be drawn into this stone. Can you make a Constitution saving throw for me?
yes. Where's my thing?
With a
Well, that's a
9.
9, I
Cam.
think.
With a 9. You all are going to watch as first Cam's fingertip, and then about all of Cam's fingertip begins to vanish. And all of Cam's right hand becomes about 50% see-through.
Ooh.
Cam, your hand feels like it's asleep. You still have a little bit of sensation in it, but it's like numb. And as you were touching the stone and trying to draw the ash out, you notice that you're able to sort of move it around like it's ferrofluid, but you're not able to like pull it out of the gemstone specifically if you're only trying to take out the ash.
Didn't one of us know shit about gems? And I just like magic gems. I don't know magic gems.
You watch as this like see-throughness travels a little bit
Cam,
further
do you
up
want me to-
Cam's arm.
Do you want me to? I like just like again. I physically move Cam just like a foot back so that they're no longer touching the stone. And I'm
What
like,
did that for?
At your elbow, you start to be fully opaque.
your arm was disappearing, Cam.
I could still use it.
Most of your fingers are gone now, Cam. You have your thumb.
Completely gone?
Like I don't feel them, or
Like they're
I
gone.
don't see
Like
them.
you don't see them, you don't feel them, they're gone.
so fingers gone
Yep, you have your thumb.
until.
It's very, very, like it's old, it's barely there, but you got your thumb, you got the palm of your hand.
Huh.
I can make you a new hand.
I mean,
I could. Okay, I can. I'm a changeling. I can regrow a limb if I eat a lot of food, right? Okay, yeah, I'll try to like put in energy to like regain
You
some
see,
fingers.
you see that you can change the arm that is there, but you're not able to like grow new fingers, and you're also not able to make yourself more opaque.
On this hand, I want to try and grow another finger.
Bam! Finger. As you look back at your hand for the first time after looking away from it, you notice that there are fingers on your hand that you can't feel. There's 4 of them. They're very skinny. It almost looks like it's stuffed cloth. They're black. Like pitch black shadow.
yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
has anyone seen this before? And I just stuffed the black fingers. Like, does this look like how I think it looks?
What's going on
Ducks
here?
her whole body away from that hand.
I'm not touching anything. I'm just gonna look at my hand.
I will Arcana.
Arcana check that hand, baby.
You point that thing.
I could also try to
I'm
medicine
pointing
check it.
nowhere. Now I'm pointing up.
I only got a 10 from an Arcana check.
Throgyn.
That's awful.
You are aware that this looks very similar to how the tragediums look.
Yeah. I thought that,
Fuck.
yeah.
No!
The fingers
It's gonna
like
be so annoying. Wait, the
I
fingers
have
do
good
that?
news, you'll have friends.
no. Only in your mind, Cam, do they give a little waggle, a little wave.
Oh, this is just nothing. What happens if I touch my hands again?
With your left hand, you can feel them. Like you can feel that they're real, like they exist in this world. But
They're not me.
They're not you. And you're going to slowly watch as Cam's, like up to Cam's elbow, where it becomes fully opaque Cam. You see that underneath that transparency is, again, this like shadow fabric. Like this shadow arm. Until it looks opaque, but you can tell that a lot of it is not Cam.
Is your arm 2D or 3D?
It is 3D. It is still 3D. Cam's arm is 3D. The Tragedian's arm is 2D.
Oh, that's.
I cast Fireball. No.
No.
I can try to cast
What if we didn't do
a
that?
lesser restoration.
Let's just leave this for now.
I
We'll
also
freak
have
out about
Alter
this
Self.
later.
I'm sort of freaking out about it now.
No, how about you don't?
Me
This
too.
is my problem.
No, but like, you're our friend, so it's also our problem.
Does anyone have like a glove? Then we don't have to look at it, and you don't have to be distracted by it.
You see that there's a glove in the open drawer. It's like a long opera glove.
Thanks, universe. And I put on the glove. There you go. My hand's fine.
It melds into looking exactly like Cam's arm.
Sorry, I now like look in the drawer again, and I'm like, that wasn't there before.
You see that there's a little well of ink.
Little one?
That also wasn't there before.
You guys gonna close the drawer and then open it again?
A rat scampers out, like a live rat.
Just gonna put it on the floor and
Scampers away.
Scamper away. She's gonna shut the drawer and open it in a second.
There's another rat.
Again.
Sam closes the drawer.
There are many rats.
Making our own army.
At some point, you open it up and a little garter snake slithers out instead.
Drawer of vermin. Drawer of vermin. Ooh, she's gonna take out the snake and put it around her wrist, and with the other hand, she's going to just run her hand against the wall. It's a stone wall.
It's a stone wall.
She's gonna run her hand against the casting druid craft, and she's gonna see if anything comes of it. Like, she's gonna try to wake up anything.
You all see that as Yuka runs her hand along the wall, after her hand has passed, these tiny little, like, roots begin to peek out of the wall. At first, only the width of a hair, and then slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger until the wall itself begins to crack and crumble. And as the wall begins to crack, you see light begins to stream through.
Let's go, baby! She's gonna follow them plants. She's gonna follow them plants to that light.
Yuka, you watch as these plants begin to continue to just sort of press through. They almost part around the four of you, filling up the entire floor of the space except for where you are all standing. And again, the bigger they get, the more cracks form in this wall, the more light begins streaming through. Until eventually you feel shakes as this entire wall and roof around you begin to collapse down. And you are all blinded for a moment.
Need to make sure that we still take the stone with us.
Yes. I've got... Yuka has a pelt. Just
There's
on
It's
still
in a little bag
pouch
now.
to it.
It is. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still like on the pouch. It's just like.
Cam pouched it.
I
Alright,
pouched
perfect. Alright, perfect. It's pouched.
I guess I'm not allowed to touch it anymore.
And
I
then
grab the pouch.
you can see again. And you're on the ship of a tall boat. You're on the deck of a tall boat.
Oh my god.
You see water reaching out infinitely in every direction. Big, tall waves so tall that a bunch of you are very off balance. You get the distinct sense that if you're going to try and grab anything, it's going to be very difficult. You smell salt, you feel it whipping through your hair or your feathers. And it is so loud out here, with the sails flapping and cracking, that you are shouting to hear each other.
Who is manning this boat?
You turn around and you see that the wheel is currently unmanned and spinning violently.
That's not good.
Does anyone in our party know how to drive?
No, but Fig is going to try because he doesn't want to. He's worse at swimming, so he's going to try to drive a boat.
I love you, Fig. Fig! Make me a dexterity saving throw as you try, make me an acrobatics check as you try and cross the deck of this ship.
Yep, of course.
I
I
did-
guidance myself because
Please
I know
still
I'm gonna be
there?
bad at this.
Say again, Feather?
Are the trees still there?
No, they're completely gone.
Can I guidance?
Cam,
myself? I'm
you,
gonna be bad at this.
as you were reaching towards that stone on the table, when you got blinded, you realized that your hand closed around nothing. You're not used to not having fingers yet. The fingers didn't close. And so as you appear on that boat again, you see that there is still a very large circular table, this time wooden, intricately carved with narwhals and sirens and sea bass. That stone slides off the table with one of the wells and begins rocking back and forth across the ship as the waves pull it up and down.
I put on some cloth on my hand and then try to grab it.
Fig, as you begin to walk towards the helm of the boat, you don't expect the boat to move underneath you, and you lose your balance. You go sliding down in the same direction the stone went. You manage to avoid touching it, and you manage to avoid staying on the ship, but you have the distinct sense that you only have so much luck in you, and the next time you might not be so lucky. Throgyn, if you're going to try and grab the stone, I need an acrobatics check.
Yeah.
Throgyn,
That's in that one.
Throgyn, you do manage to touch the stone.
Yeah.
You don't manage to grab it. I'm gonna need a con save from you with disadvantage. As it ruffles against your feathers and manages to slip inside the sleeve of your tunic. You feel the feathers on your arm and the skin connected begin to be sucked away from you. You can choose to keep it. However, you will continue to vanish. You will continue to
I have a little bit of.
depreciate. Or you can let it go.
I had some cloth in my hand to try to grab it, and
Yes,
that
you
failed.
did.
Is it possible to shake it out of my sleeve into the fabric I had?
Acrobatics check. Or sleight of hand check.
Oh. Yeah, there's one there going.
I remember what my players have points in.
Yeah.
Throgyn, with a
19.
19, you are able to shake it out of your sleeve just before you completely lose feeling in your arm. And you have it, now sitting in the palm of your hand, covered in cloth. You
Do I
can't
still
feel
have
your
some
arm.
semblance of fingers? Not at all.
You can see them ever so slightly, but it's almost a trick of the light. Like, they're there, just barely. The boat's still out of control, and you are still heaving to the sides.
Yuka's gonna wild shape into a hawk.
Yeah? No acrobatics check needed. You're allowed to do that.
Yep, she's just doing it. She is going to fly up as high up as she can to get a picture aerial view of what needs to happen to right the ship. Like what's the actual problem that we're experiencing? The fact that it's inept because we can't operate a boat, or that there is problem with the water, like we're in a maelstrom.
Yuka,
Tide or something.
I need a nature check. No, I need a survival check.
Okay. Hold on a sec. Just perception checks over. It's survival. It doesn't matter. Okay.
And then, sort of like as I've been tumbled, I might do like detect magic to see if this is either like a magic boat or a magic storm.
Absolutely, you may do that. Yuka, with a 26, you are going to notice two things. The first is that even though the sky is perfectly calm, you seem to be experiencing a maelstrom. The ocean itself is whipping back and forth. There's winds around you that are making it difficult for you to stay in the air as a hawk, even though you're able to just barely push through. You also notice that the boat is completely out of control. You think that if you got to the wheel, you might be able to at least turn it in a way that working with the wind, you won't have quite such severe, rocking. However, you are still going to be in a maelstrom and sort of be at the whims of where that takes you. You don't see anything in the water other than the water that is dangerous.
Okay. Good.
Fig, with Detect Magic, you are going to notice, if you let me read the spell very, very quickly, around any creature or object that bears magic, you are going to see
focusing on the ship, I think.
that currently Cam and Throgyn ping as magical. Or at least parts of Cam and Throgyn ping as magical. And it's transmutation magic. You see that the item in Throgyn's hand pings as magical, though you're not able to determine what school it is. It's none of the 7 that you're familiar with. It's similar-ish. It's equal but opposite to how the Gemstone of Relevancy pinged. The ship and the water, as well as the wind, you notice ping all together as magical, and they ping as the same type of magic. And you notice that it is... Give me 1 second to check which school of magic this is.
Evocation?
Give me a second. Bum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum bum. You notice that it pings as evocation and conjuration magic.
I suppose that's not really what to check. I was gonna see if there was like a source for it, but that's not probably.
That's a good question. That is a really good question. If Yuka is able to fly,
I will say you see one other thing. Fig, you see below the waves as you're launched to the side of the boat. You only recognize this for a brief moment as you were at the lower zenith of this rocking. You get a ping of divination magic somewhere below the surface of the water.
It sort of makes me want to go overboard. Anyway. I don't know. It's like I sort of relay this information to the group as much as possible. Where it's like conjuration, evocation. I don't think we're really here, or something's weird.
When she hears that, as she's flying back down, can Yuka make a dive bird motion and go under the water and try to...
I don't believe Fig told you about the divination. However,
Well, he said that there's something in the
Fig.
water, right?
I didn't hear.
I mean, I'm just like, everything around us has magic to it. Where it's like, shit might not be real, the storm might have been brought here, the water's weird.
Fig, as you say, nothing here might be real. The ship lurches one last time and then goes stock still. It's almost as if somebody has pressed pause on a mover. One of the
The face
waves
plants
is still...
immediately into the prow of the ship.
Thunk!
Yep.
One of the waves is still like reached over top of you. You see the droplets as they're falling. I don't know if any of you have played Obra Dinn before, but it's those stills. Yuka, you're able to recover and alight on the deck. Beak. Your nose will definitely be broken when you wild shape back. Everything's still. Everything's silent. The wind that was whipping your feathers and your hair is gone. And that is where we will end our session for today.
Very good.
It's a little short one, but I warned you guys about this earlier, so congratulations. I hope you enjoyed our fun little session today. I would like to ask for my lovely, lovely players to say anything they want to plug right this instant.
If you liked any of the music that you heard in this stream, or even if you didn't, you can check out that music for purchase at heysunnyk.bandcamp.com. If you are not interested in that and money is burning a hole in your pocket, I have a number of cool charities that I am not sponsored by, and I do not, but I do donate to on the regular because you and I people should check them out because they're really cool. The biggest charity that comes to mind is Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. There's also United Works Relief Agency and Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, and because it is... I'm never going to be a drag queen, sorry. I would like to give a special shout out to the Trevor Project, who does a lot of excellent work for at-risk young people in the queer community all over the United States. Two, they provide great resources for particular situations, and we love our queer siblings, we love our queer family. Those of us who are part of the queer community have benefited greatly, either directly or indirectly, from the Trevor Project, because they are a great source of help and resources for people in schools, people outside of schools. They are really excellent, providing mentorship and resources for particularly vulnerable people. You should check them out. That's all I got.
I will also do a quick shout out on the back of that. If you are in the Netherlands, Transmissy. Like them, respect them, very similar vibe for trans folks specifically.
If you are celebrating Pride this weekend, because I know that there are a lot of Pride festivals, please make sure that you are wearing appropriate sunscreen, you are keeping yourself hydrated, and you're, keep your head in a swivel and have a great time.
With that, I would also like to make a plug for Sunny K, because I think I heard it, but I think it got, yoked out on stream. Sunny K made all of the music for this stream. She sells them online for, I think, very little money. They're very good. Go at least check out her Bandcamp, and then maybe even, if you like them, purchase songs. It'll be linked in the doobly-doo down below the YouTube video, the YouTube VOD.
Sunny is such a cat sometimes. It's so cool.
With that said, I know that Rose was trying to plug this earlier. Rose, do you want to plug this for me, or do I want to plug this for me?
I just said go Sunny go, but I did, what else was I plugging?
If you are interested in us, where you can find us is here on Twitch at Melise. We plan on streaming, if I check my silly little schedule, next week on the 6th of July. We also plan, and I've mentioned this about a month ago, so I'm going to mention it again right now. We are in the last month of this campaign. These guys are getting really close to wrapping it up. So yeah, tune on in for the little finale. If you want to catch up on everything we've done previously, go and check out my YouTube. That's at Melise RPG. You can see VODs of all of our old streams, or at least all of our old Garunk streams. You can see VODs of most of our streams. Go hang out. It's also in podcast version if you like podcasts. Like my little bot in chat has just reminded me as well, if you are interested in following us and seeing when we are going to go live, you can follow my Patreon or my Ko-fi. Both of those are at the handle Melise. Both of them are, you can follow them for free, you can interact with them for free. I mostly put little things about, like, what is our stream schedule. I realized I didn't put this stream on there, and that's probably why chat was so empty. But yes, we do put there what's going on. I would also suggest you go and check out my Patreon and my Ko-fi, because I am planning for my next campaign after this one. I have made the executive decision that we're playing a cosmic horror campaign, and it's gonna be set in the American Midwest, and I don't know which players are coming back for it, but I think I see a couple of nods that are already interested. I might also try and grab a couple, like maybe one extra player, to round out if somebody drops out, we can still have a session. But yeah, that's the next concept. So come on in to watch that if you feel so inclined. With all of that being said, I have one other person I want to plug here, and that is the person who's done all of the lovely portraits for our player characters. These were made by Randazart. He does art, and it's really cool, and you should go and check him out. That will also be linked in the doobly-doo. Sorry, he won't be linked in the doobly-doo, but a video game that he made will be linked in the doobly-doo. Go check that out. It's for Android phones. It's a fun little thing, and you will recognize a couple of the voices in it. That's now everything I think I needed to plug. I think I've gotten everything. Gang, did I miss anything?
Do you want to raid someone?
That's a great idea. Give me a minute, because I have to do a funny little check to see if we can raid anyone.
Is live. Scoon is live at Scoon's Tavern right now.
Well, then we're gonna go and raid Scoon's Tavern. That's actually the other thing I wanted to plug. May made a Fire Lord Ozai joke earlier today, and I just wanted to say, if you're a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, I participated in one campaign, and I ran a second campaign on Scoon Taverns' channel of the Avatar: The Last Airbender TTRPG. You can find his VODs at Scoon's Tavern on the YouTubes, and you should go and check them out because they were a fun time. We're gonna go and raid Scoon, so I'm gonna put you all into the end screen where you can hear some more lovely Sunny K music, and then we're gonna head off for the night. So, say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Oh.
Of Baratara, shining shores, fun sailing folk are we. The line between the sea and sky, our only boundary. On crashing waves and even tides, we'll navigate the sea. Steadfast our mission in our minds to keep these waters free. Through freezing gales and tropics warm, we lot have sailed them all in winter flows and summer storm, green spring and golden fall. Through foamy spray and clouds of grey and blinking star-filled night, we raise our anchors and our flags and sail along with might. When my time comes to